exciting things that I do, and it's one thing that I've been asked by more magicians to do in their act. I got this idea. This is not a totally original idea, but it works for the kind of magic that I do in my show, especially with the water on the floor and the blindfold, which you saw in the video. I'm going to do the explanation of the water, Coke bottle to water. First off, I'm using one of Norm Nielsen's vanishing bottles. Now, there's many bottles on the market, I'm sure. Maybe I'm not sure, but again, Norm's my neighbor, and I buy these bottles from him. This particular bottle, I have found that the cleaning of these bottles can be done with just a little bit of Armor All. You can take a little Armor All on a rag, you can wipe the bottle down, and you can actually really make it look real. Now, I have several different types of Coke bottles. I have the empty bottle. I use the empty bottle for my act because it works along with the story that I'm using. Excuse me. Or you can use the one that looks like it's full. It's got the cap on it. There's ketchup bottles. There's all kinds of different things that you can use, but this is what I use. Now, what I do is I take water. It's very important that the water that you use is room temperature, and you're about to find this out right now. I take room temperature water, and I pour it into the glass. Now, that same exact measurement right there is what I'm going to preload my newspaper with, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. Now, how do we cover this up? What I do is I've gone out and I just find little balloons like this. They have tops that go on that you can buy from the magic shops, but this is what I call the quick poor man's on the road, and also you're going to see the second use of this. I will cut this balloon off right here. Now, remember in the beginning of this lecture, I talked about pulling the bird's head and snapping it. Well, that's what I use. I use that neck right there. So what's left after I do that, after I cut that neck off, is I wind up with the other half of the balloon. And as you can see, it makes a nice little cap. That little cap, I very carefully stretch over the top of the glass. Now, the reason we're using room temperature water is because if this water is too cold, it'll make the side of the glass sweat. It'll make it drip a little bit. And first time you turn this upside down, all that water is going to fall out. Or the cap itself will just pop off and you won't be able to do the trick in the same manner that I'm about to teach you. Now, I take this. I've got my bottle. I take lunch bags. Now, I go down. I find these at grocery stores. That's a standard lunch bag. And I found that the bottle itself will fit on one side. I take the glass on one side, the bottle on the other. Now, I am all ready to do the trick. So I come out like this, and in the routine, I talk about being the first magic trick that I'd ever learned. Saying my grandfather took me out. Well, as you notice, I can turn that bag upside down. How innocent can that be? There's absolutely no way that there's anything else in there. I'm holding it like this. I put the bottle inside. I do my business about making the bottle disappear, and then it came back. Oh, by golly, there it is. It's back in the bag. Now I can show it like this. Now I do it again the second time. I wave my hand once, twice, three times. Now I say it really did. It disappeared. Now I'm holding on to both of them. And I can drop this. I can actually drop my hand right down to my side. It's a very innocent looking move. Now I turn it over, and with one move, I pop the cap off. I pull out the glass, and in the same moment, I actually roll up the thing, and there I've got a glass of water or champagne. Don't use champagne or anything carbonated, but you can colorize your water. You can use juices. You can use wine. You can use whatever you want to produce out of there that you think will impress your audience. Now this goes, I put this either in my table, or I hand it to my assistant, or I actually sometimes just throw it over my shoulder because it's insignificant. Anyways, that is my production of the glass. This would be my second explanation of the glass in the bottle. Now, this is not my idea, but I think I read this years ago, either in the Genie, or this might have been published by somebody. This is where I got the idea. I would actually take a real Coca-Cola bottle, and I would place it, a real Coca-Cola bottle, and place it inside of the bag, right next to my rubber Coke bottle. So in this particular situation, I'm just going to re-demonstrate this. I'm going to go ahead and use the same thing I just used. Now watch what happens now. I've got the Coca-Cola bottle in here, and it's full. Now I go like this, and I take a straw, and I put the straw in there, and it looks like I drank it. But I have the colored version of the Norm Nielsen bottle. I go through the same nonsense that I went through before. Now I produce a real empty Coca-Cola bottle, set it down, crumble up my bag. Then I came up with a third idea on this. This is one where I take the bottle and I would just, if you just want to start scratch with no extra bottle in the bag, I place the bottle in the bag the original way that it was shown. But before I started, in my back pocket here, I would place another real empty Coke bottle or a real full Coke bottle, depending on which version of this that you want to purchase. So now I crumble up my bag, I throw it over my shoulder, it's gone, and now I say, did you see the sleight of hand involved there? I actually made that bottle and I reach in my back pocket and I pull out a real Coke. Now, when you do that, especially at a children's show, you can now take this down and you can either take the top off of it and pop it and hand it to a kid, or you can just hand it to them as a souvenir. You can pre-sign the bottle, thank you for helping me out, blah, 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 however you want to do it. But it makes it look like you've made the bottle go from here to here, magically. I'm going to talk about the